The Oddball Show, a podcasting collaboration from JP Line Productions and Oddball Magazine.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Oddball Show. My name is Jason Wright, and I am the host today for the Oddball Show, which is, I'm usually just the guy who makes people laugh or says something stupid, but today I am the guy who is going to be talking first, so let me just, let's get it going. We have Liza Zayas on the program, and I'll introduce her in just a little bit, but today we're gonna talk about the 1 Billion Rising anthem, and we'll get into that in just a little bit. But first, we're gonna introduce everyone on the panel, and let's start with my friend Professor from JP Lime, your one-stop shop for all things hip hop. Prof, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling excellent, man. I'm really I'm glad to be back on the Oddball Show. I'm rip roaring and ready to go, brother.
Rip roaring and ready to go. Cool. All right, and of course we have the man who says Nas. Oh, nope, he doesn't say Nas. He says Nas, the Oddball Show and associate editor of Oddball Magazine, the driving force behind Stone Soup Poetry. Chad Parental, how you doing today?
Good evening. Doing very well, thank you.
A quite reserved Chad Parental on the mic right now.
It's late.
9 o'clock, Chad, but cool. All right. Okay, and we have a special guest today, great fan of her poetry, and you may know her from Oddball Magazine and her column Underground Garden, or maybe you've heard her music as Luna Del Flor, which we'll get into that a little bit later. But first, let me welcome Liza Zayas to the Oddball Show. Liza, how are you doing today?
Fantastic, man. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's really great to have you on the show. I've been a huge fan of your poetry. What you've done for Underground Garden is awesome. We're going to talk about the 1 Billion Rising anthem, but and the movement. But do you want to talk a little bit about the Underground Garden, and you want to get into that first, or you want to talk about your event? Where do you want to go?
Well, it's all one. I'm the denominator. So if I am to talk about the 1 Billion Rising on Sunday, then I have to bring up that it's being featured on the Underground Garden this Thursday.
There you go. So it is all relative. You're going to have the Underground Garden, which is Liza's contribution to the Oddball Show, which is not the Oddball Show, the Oddball Magazine, which is a pretty dope magazine if you haven't checked it out. Our poetry is live, our poetry is good, and we have great columnists like Andrew Bourne. Shout out to Andrew Bourne, who writes 7 times, and James Van Loy. It's all one thing. But today we're talking about Liza and Underground Garden because it is such a great contribution to Oddball Magazine, and we're really, really excited that you're on board with us. So so I'm just going to open up to some questions. Chad, Prof, let's talk to Liza. What's going on?
All right. All right. Well, Liza, I was reading about the 1 Billion Rising movement a little bit the last couple of days as we started to prepare for the show. One of the biggest things about it for me is it seems like a huge, obviously it's a huge movement. One of the key stats for our listeners to know is that 1 in 3 women will be affected by gender-based violence at some point in their life, which is an incredible stat, which totals 1 billion women, which is where the number comes from. With that kind of large-scale movement, what's the ultimate goal? Is it really awareness, or is there something more as far as an answer, as far as ending gender-based violence?
I'm gonna have to read from their mission statement directly, because they say something that is the point, and it's why I support it, and it's how I live and breathe. They say, "We are rising to show we are determined to create a new kind of consciousness, one where violence will be resisted until it is unthinkable."
Yeah.
So until people just don't even react in that way, or see women in that way, or accept violence in ways, that's why I'm involved, and I think that's why so many people get involved.
I mean, really, it equals a serious passion. I mean, it's almost a. I mean, you're changing consciousness. That's a big movement. I mean, that's really.
That's the mission.
Yeah.
It's about breaking cycles. It's unbearable to exist and ignore these tragic realities.
And to act as if it's inevitable, to act like it's just part of our reality. Yeah, I understand that.
Accepted, and it doesn't.
Right.
Yeah. And I must say it's a great event. It's going to be the event that you're having in Lawrence. Could be dancing, spoken word. Are you gonna be reading some poetry or?
So there's an organization out in Lawrence. They work year round around these issues. It's V-Day. They put on the vagina monologues in the city for the city, and they've held 1 Billion Rising events in the past. And I performed at one of them 2 years ago, and I read poetry, and that's where I met Elizabeth Delgado, who invited me, and she's one of the facilitators for V-Day Lawrence. And they had Meta Movements, excuse me, not Meta Movements, Movement City. Meta Movements is based out of Boston. Movement City out of Lawrence dance, and these were all young ladies, a young group from the city of Lawrence that performed. So there were dancers, and they had T-shirts on, clothing lines with messages that people wrote on them that were affected by violence, or prayers for victims of violence. So there's art, and there's poetry, and there's dance, and the biggest and the bravest part of the evening is when you have survivors of these events speak and share their stories of strength and of survival, and then receive from all of us support. That's another reason why this is important, so that these women who go through these tragedies know that they're not alone. So they'll know that at one time there's a goal for 1 billion people to stand up for them, recognizing them.
Right. Yeah.
You said, if I can ask a question, you said that you said you performed 2 years ago. You did a piece. Was that the first time you were involved with the group and with the movement, or were you involved in it prior?
No, that was my first time. To be honest with you, even knowing that this was occurring. I wish I could remember how we were connected. I think it was someone saying, look into the sea to perform at it. And as I spoke to them, of course I was going to be there. Of course I was going to support this. Wish I would have known before. I know that they hold in the city of Lawrence a yearly march for victims of domestic violence, where throughout the city you'll have women and men march through the city, and the women will be in wedding gowns to signify, women who have lost their lives in these types of relationships and situations. So the city of Lawrence does a lot for these types of situations. Excuse me for 1 second. But this was my first time that I ever worked with them.
Well, that's cool. So you're working with them, with the city of Lawrence. This is a big event. I don't know if you saw me. I was just. Did you see my face? I was standing in solidarity with you because we had our cameras on, and I was trying to put my camera on. So then I told Prof to put his camera on. He didn't put his camera on. Chaz refused to put his camera on. So well, it's all a big thing here. It's all a big catastrophe.
It's because I look like this. My blurry icon is better.
Well, I have to go behind my sister, so it's no rules ever.
I'm doing my face. There it is. We usually there's Prof right there. Okay, so we all
Usually we run with the pictures just because
with the pictures.
it works better for the feed because you know all the.
You don't want to see me just like
All right,
looking
go ahead, talk.
and typing and stuff. It's not. I mean, I know I look dapper in my shirt that I got from the guy from Tree. You can't see that. It looks like a regular T-shirt, but if you're in the out of the blue area, you can get Dave Tree's shirts there. I'm wearing one. All right.
That was good product placement. I like it.
Thank you. I have a Pepsi right here too.
No, wait, hey!
Oh, I'm just joking. It was actually
local product placement. Local, please.
It was a water.
Poetry book. Go for it. Keep the Pepsi out of the screen.
It's a choice of the next generation. It's a choice of the next generation.
So Miss Zayas, Underground Garden, person unearthing the Boston art scene one layer at a time. That's an oddball tagline that I was proud to create for you. Is Lawrence the only town that's doing this? Is there other events happening that the other people, if they may not live as close to Lawrence, can get to? Are they happening all over the state, all over New England that you know of?
It's worldwide, right?
This is a big event. This is on their website. Big event. Huge movement.
It is worldwide, and if you go to 1billionrising.org, under their events tab, you can search wherever you are right now listening. If you go to 1billionrising.org/events/1billionrising, you can put in your zip code, and they'll tell you who in your area is actually holding space for this on the day. I know Lawrence does it. I don't know if anyone in Boston is going to, but I'm sure that in the past someone has.
Well, I mean, if Lawrence is doing it, then I mean, we should stand with Lawrence, Cambridge, Boston, Foxborough, Worcester, Mansfield, whatever. All these places should be doing this event as well. I mean, don't you think it's important? Somerville should be doing this event. I mean, this is a big movement. And
we'll put the link 1billionrising.org on the YouTube page and elsewhere, so people can have some time to figure out if they are not listening to this in the Lawrence area, figure out where else they can go to participate in this.
It's all over the world. I mean, on their I was gonna tweet at them, but I don't know. I'm not a good Twitter. I don't tweet very well. I'm very bad at tweeting.
It's all over the world, and a lot of college campuses hold events.
Yeah.
One thing you know, all of this is that the song "Break the Chain" has a dance that was created by Debbie Allen, and so what connects everybody? So what's going to connect Lawrence, let's say a city in Indonesia, is that this dance is going to be performed in honor of these victims at once.
Interesting.
So
I listened to the dance. It's really a nice song.
Incredibly honest, powerful song.
Beautiful ballad. And you know what? We'll play that a little bit later on in the show.
Actually, let me ask this real quick because I want to put this in the pertinent link section too. You said is there a video that we can put the YouTube link up on our site, because that's where everything will be up on our Facebook and Twitter, but it'll also be right now. It's broadcasting live on our Twitter, Facebook, and at jplineproductions.com. So underneath that, we're going to put all the pertinent links. Is there a video of this dance that everybody's going to be doing?
Yes, if you go to YouTube and you search for "Break the Chain."
Break the Chain.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Excellent.
Yep, it should come up. It will come up. And I don't know if the channel is like V-Day or 1 Billion Rising that's posted it.
Excellent. But yeah, so for all our listeners, we'll put that video right up in the pertinent link section. So when you go to Lawrence on Valentine's Day, you won't be the only one unprepared.
Right.
I think that's an awesome idea. That really is a worldwide dance, and things like technology really make that so much. It makes it super possible for everybody to be doing the exact same dance step at the exact same time for a single, very solid message. I think it's awesome.
And in researching 1 Billion Rising, Eve, I can never say her last name, Ensler of the Vagina.
Ensler.
She incorporated dance into this movement because of the tribal nature of it, because of the body speaking in rhythm, because of the ritual of it. So art and activism is something that's crisscrossing here to form one fist, and it kind of lightens the mood, but it also empowers you because when you dance, you do release endorphins and you do just become naturally more happy. So it's not a celebration, but it's definitely unifying and just feeling that love being put out there sincerely.
Liza, we have it here, and we're gonna play a little bit of it. It is really pretty powerful. So.
And for those of you listening on YouTube, it is very easy to find. Just type in "Break the Change," as Liza said. It is available. It's actually the third. I think after the ad, it's the third one down, and it was produced by Eve Ensler and V-Day, directed by Tony Strobel, and written and produced by Tina Clark. Music by Tina Clark, along with dancer and choreographer Debbie Allen. Just to give props.
Mm-hmm.
And Jason, do you have it ready?
Well, you seem to have lost Jason for the moment. All right, so let's come right back to that song when Jason has that queued up. You want to do a little promo before we get into? I'd rather talk a little bit separately about Underground Garden and the other things that you have going on, because I have some questions about who Luna Del Flor is versus who you are, whether there's a whether that's a difference or whether it's just an identity thing. But I think that's a really fascinating thing that we as artists are able to do, is to create that identity for ourselves. So I want to talk about that in a little bit. Chad, do you want to do a little off-the-cuff promo for Out of the Blue? I think they're always worth our props and our free promotion. So if you want to run a little thing real quick of what goes on Out of the Blue, I think that would be the perfect time for that.
So true. Although I've been carrying around papers so heavy today, just walking around from place to place, getting ready for Valentine's Day, not just for myself but for my girlfriend's class. I think all the papers I carried around, if I was a newsie, I would have killed the man today. Just like, no, get your evening Tribune. Like it was. Oh, I guess there comes the voice. I guess it's not totally dead, although it feels it. But yes, I am very excited to report once again. For those of you who don't listen to me the first 5 times, that includes you, Jason. Even though you're not listening right now, because you obviously lost connection. You stupid son of a... Anyway, the Out of the Blue has officially won their nonprofit status. So that means if you are an entrepreneur, if you are a visionary, they want to talk to you because they need those. Well, they always need those. We need new blood all the time. Stone Soup is growing. All the art scenes in the Cambridge area are growing. Just as Lawrence, I'm always hearing about Lawrence, the magical land there through the underground garden at Oddball every Thursday at 3 o'clock. Just as we keep on hearing from Lawrence via the garden, I keep on hearing from Out of the Blue and their news and things. They're continuing to expand, and hopefully that will continue to happen. The best way to do that is go to the Out of the Blue Art Gallery's WordPress-based website, newly revised and maintained by T.J. Edson. And it will definitely be, and you can definitely sign up for. You can definitely sign up for continued updates. I'm sorry if I'm stumbling because I am also conversing with Jason as we're doing this. He's trying to get back in.
Right brain, left brain.
Yes, pretty much. I think I typed in him in Swedish just now as I'm trying to do all that, but what are you going to do? But I think he's going to join in just a few moments. So prior to this, the 1 Billion Rising, Liza. I think I've said your name like 3 different times right now. I think I've said Liza Minnelli, Lisa. Which one is it right now? Because I've totally lost track. Just having a conversation with myself. I totally. The elephant in the room is that I mess up people's names all the time, which is why I'm a perfect poetry host. I'll be up there saying, and now John Smitta. It's sad. It's pathetic. So what's the correct spelling, just so I can apologize to you and everyone out there on YouTube and the entire town of Lawrence?
No.
Sorry, Lawrence.
No, it's Liza, Liza, just like
Liza.
Minnelli.
I should have remembered. I should have done that.
We communicate all the time.
Yes,
okay.
it's. But prior to 1 Billion Rising, what was your involvement in that, in such activism as that? What was what made you passionate about this cause? What was what led you to this?
I have to say that I care a lot about people and situations, and I believe in potential, and I'm constantly trying to break by acknowledging them, not ignoring them. And when you do that, you can help. So I've always cared by trying to donate money for research or children, or through clothes drives by donating or organizing, or it's just part of who I am.
Did you come from a family that was similarly civic-minded, similarly progressive like that?
Absolutely. I am this way because of the way I was raised and the example my parents gave me. So my mom and dad were incredible parents and partners and neighbors and family. And, I grew up watching them care for others and care for us, and it's just a natural thing.
So it really did start at home.
It does. It does.
What's your earliest memory or your most prominent memory that leaves an impression about how they acted?
Just how our home was always a home for anybody. Everyone who walked through our door was always family, and we were always there for them. We were always there for anyone, everyone, for anything.
Was this in Lawrence? Are you a lifelong Lawrencer, or?
I am. Yes, I am. Puerto Rican from Lawrence.
Very nice. How has that town changed, and has it been beneficial that you grew up in such a progressive environment? I mean, I can imagine with the ways towns change. I mean, Bellingham, which is where I was from in Massachusetts, has changed to the point where, someone in my income as an artist and a government worker probably would have a hard time swinging a house there. A lot of people I know would, and I don't know if and certainly in the areas I live now, I live in Jamaica Plain. I also spend time in South Boston. Those areas are changing too. Have you witnessed that as much in Lawrence? And has being this civic-mindedness and being with this being in this very active community, has that helped to preserve Lawrence as you knew it growing up?
Lawrence. Being Lawrence, I'm trying to answer your question.
That was a loaded one, wasn't it? I'm sorry.
The way it was phrased is that my answer to you is yes. Lawrence has changed there, but it's changed in the way that it needs to for itself, which is what I've always loved. We empower ourselves. So it has a lot of programs now that even when I was living out there in my 20s, and I'm now in my 4th decade, I didn't know existed. You have your social programs, but you didn't have as many educational programs or art programs or those types of outlets that actually help people help themselves. So I do see Lawrence becoming it's always been a beautiful city, but now it's flourishing even more. The community is flourishing even more. It comes together more. It expresses itself more vibrantly, um, and it's just going to continue to go on the up, because it hasn't fallen into the Merrimack River yet, and it's not going to.
I like that. So is Lawrence the next Somerville, or are you trying desperately for that to not happen so you don't raise the rents of every place?
Never. Lawrence will always be Lawrence, and you can only know what that means if you're from that area.
Hmm.
There is a culture out there that just more than likely wouldn't allow $3,000 rents for a two-bedroom apartment. And this is geographical, it's far away, but it is such a beautiful city with so much to do within itself, that I wouldn't say it's trendy, but it's got flavor. Lawrence has always been dope. Always been dope.
I like that. I like that line that you said. I know we're probably going off trail here, but this is a good chance for your readers to meet the voice and the mind behind the Underground Garden. So I'm all for this. But if I'm rambling too much, please stop me, JP. Stop me.
JP. I got you, buddy. I got your back.
Oh, but so by going back to something that you said, that Lawrence wouldn't allow, the rents to go catastrophic. Is that really? Does it really come down to that? Thinking of places like Cambridge and hearing poet activists like Tony B, who I know you know, or go on about like how people who live in the city or even were born there have a hard time staying there. Does it really boil down to, in some ways, a community choice, and is that like the secret that everyone has kind of like lost?
No, the reason I say that is because, again, Cambridge is next to. Okay, so we know that Boston is the capital, and if you want to make capital, you got to be near the capital.
Right.
Lawrence is geographically close to where the money is, so to speak, so it generates its own wealth. They've taken these mills and they're making these lofts, and there are people, hardworking people, minimum wage, that are going into these lofts that are from Lawrence. They're staying home. They're keeping it fresh. But anyone come in and, I think, try to spruce up a location so far away from commerce that Lawrence would have anything to worry about. However, it is the poorest city in Massachusetts, so people do worry. So
Is it really?
It is. It's all over the news every year, and that's okay. That's okay. It's not disempowering. It's just the reality. But the mayor of Lawrence right now, Dan Rivera, is doing an incredible job. He brings a lot of grants into the city, so the city is again, empowering itself. And all that's going to do is just help people have a start. It's a place to start.
Chad, may I jump in here real quick and ask a couple of questions about a different avenue? Because one of the most interesting things to me when we get a talented artist on, or a prolific artist for that matter, someone who comes across in different media, is how that happens. What was the first? You're a writer, a singer. I know how passionate you are about dance, so I want to jump to the event at Harvard in December. I want to talk about that in a second. But what was out of those, or any other, I guess, painting or something else, what was the first art form, even when you were young, that really, that caught you first? And is there one that comes across even more strongly for you now than the others?
It's always been dance. It's always, I can remember when the Thriller album was pressed, and my dad got a copy home, and it would, for weeks, like every Saturday while my mom was cleaning, I can remember playing that whole album, both sides, and just dancing through both sides of the album the whole time, all of the time.
Yeah.
Just choreographing to myself or just dancing. And And then I like to sing songs, ballads especially. I love romance. And then I fell in love with my English classes and started writing poetry. And that's when the roller coaster took off for me. I couldn't stop writing.
That was high school?
That was middle school.
Yeah.
Middle school, yeah. And you know, my root is dance, absolutely. But a lot of my expression is through writing. Writing is my second first love.
I love that. Writing is my second first love.
I like that too. Quick question. If you're first, you were talking about how Lawrence today has a lot of programs, especially in the arts, that weren't around when you were, when you were in your 20s. What outlets were there for you to help express yourself, and if any, when you were younger, or did you have to kind of make your own path after a while?
Yeah. So you would have your. So I'm a house head. You guys know that I'm a house head. And there wasn't a really big house music population in Lawrence. So even at school dances, I wasn't hearing what I wanted to listen to. Hanging out with my friends, they weren't playing what I wanted to listen to. So it was me hanging out with my friend Mikey, who's DJ House in Lawrence, and coming back home from his house with like a mixtape, a fresh mixtape off the tables. We would spend hours listening to records to make a mix, and then I'd take the mix home with me. So I'd be basically, Friday, Saturday nights, or Tuesday nights, Sunday morning, blasting these tapes and writing.
Was this friend your first house experience? You like your first the one who was like your gateway into house, or did it go even before that?
He was, and then he and I together we just deeper. So he was braver than I, so he went out into Boston.
How we doing?
And back music, and then I went out into the city my senior year of high school and discovered the loft, and I found home. I found home when I found the house scene in Boston.
What is the I don't want to say it wrong. I wanted to ask you about this. What is the Boston House Music Coalition?
The Boston House Music Coalition started, I think, at the turn of the millennium. I think it was 2000, and it was a bunch of friends, Bob, Dwayne, Sammy, me, Betsy. Dwayne actually had the vision of creating a promotional machine, team, squad that put everyone's events. So if a crew was having a party, then BHC would support it, promote it, just help it up, just to try to get people to come out for, a good time, to get people in to check out these parties. So that's what the BHC's been doing 16 years now.
Love it. I saw it. It was on. I don't know. It must have been one of the flyers or something for. I think the December event. I said, yep. That's exactly what this looks like. It looks like a perfect support network for cross promotion, and I was trying to figure out if you guys were somehow like a super group, but it's really just a cross promotion network, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah. And they're on Facebook, and Lisa Robert, if I said that correctly, she's the main media person. So the BHC pages will be will send out invites and event blasts for everything that's going on.
Awesome.
You can call them a super group, Chris. I'm sure she won't mind.
I had to explain to I won't call them by name. I had to explain to a friend of mine that a super group isn't just an awesome group. It's a group made up of pieces from other groups. So for a while he used it interchangeably with rock and roll's first super group, meaning a group that had made it big. But that's not exactly what a super group is.
You had to educate this friend a lot. For instance, Foghat is not a super group, but
although they are super.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
While we're on the
So-
subject of terms, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Let me ask one more question here. While we're on the subject of terms and definitions, what is the difference between a b-boy / b-girl and an all-style wrecker? So I saw that on the flyer too, that they were going to be, each side was represented. So that is, what is an all-style wrecker versus a b-boy?
So what I learned at Pandora's Jam, that was the jam at Harvard that Lewin and the Harvard Breakers held. I was the All Styles judge. And the difference that I saw is that the breakers were breakers. These were like powerful movers. They were fantastic, but they were just strictly breakers. So I can't give you technical terms, so I can't. They only do windmills or handstands when so much was being done by them in footwork and popping and floor work, but it was break style. The all styles is exactly what it sounds like. It was someone, doing jazz, and then they flip into R&B, and then next thing you know, they're doing popping moves, and then next thing you know, they're voguing.
That's sick.
It was incredible. It was one of the best times I've had anywhere. Just like 4 pumping hours of pure energy and support and dancers and joy and music. It's what it's all about. And I was blown away by all the dancers that I saw and all the support that these first-time contestants were receiving, and I left there so open that I want to enter a next dance competition just to have that type of fun. It was so much fun.
Right on, man. So the other thing about that was it was a Pandora's Jam. So I was reading that each round they had to they had some other like obstacle or costume or something specific that they had to. What were some of the crazier ones of that? Because I thought that was a pretty cool feature. So every round they had to pull from Pandora's box, and it had suggestions, or not even suggestions, had things they had to add to their dance. Liza, what was that about? Or what were the crazier ones of that you saw?
I'll tell you that the one that frustrated people the most was this one where they had a balloon, like a party balloon, and they had to keep it up in the air while they were dancing.
Well, that's ridiculous because you can't even like keep time with a balloon. A balloon moves slow as hell.
It was the one that drove everyone the most mad. Sorry, I'm just switching rooms to set up something for my son.
All right, we're getting a full tour of your house. We love it.
Yeah, I know.
Up close and personal for our viewers here on the Oddball Show.
I'll have a sick baby at home with me tomorrow, so I'm just getting, he's up way past his bedtime. Another one was they had to dance with a chair, and they got so creative with the chair that it blew my mind.
Awesome.
Easier to keep rhythm with a chair, than with a balloon. That's true. Just saying.
The wind resistance,
Exactly.
That was an event that you were a judge at Harvard back in December. So was that your first like judging experience? Do you do a lot of those, visiting things that you're not a contestant or just a spectator at?
So my friend Sammy, he used to do dance classes, or occasionally he comes back to be a guest once. So it was me and Dwayne, and we came in as guest instructors for dance partners. That's the only time I've ever led a class, but I didn't even lead because I don't. There's no way I could ever feel comfortable enough leading because I don't know how to follow. It's true. I just think if you're going to dance, it's going to be your expression.
Yeah.
But some of my friends and a lot of people that I respect can actually teach, can actually put themselves in that role and do it because they're that fantastic. So that was the first time I've ever judged. My wonderful friend Nomadic, She did something at Emerson once where she was putting on a history of dance music, and she asked me and my friend to go and speak about that. So I do some speaking, and I do attend these events. But again, first I'm a dancer before anything.
Yeah, right on. So you're friends with Nomadic? We know Nomadic just a little bit. We've crossed paths, not enough, not as much as we should for the Boston hip hop scene, but she is somebody who's super active in Boston and well worthy of everybody's respect here, and has been doing it a long time. Oh, look at this! Look at this on the Oddball Show, ladies and gentlemen. We actually didn't even formally welcome back Mr. Jason Wright of Oddball Magazine. He had some internet problems just a moment ago, so he came back in, and then right behind him, about 7 or 8 minutes later, we have Scholar of JP Line Productions. Welcome to the podcast, good sir and sirs.
Hello.
Hey,
You're just in time for the tour of Liza's house.
I know. I'm walking around in the dark now. It's okay.
This is going to be an oddball segment. We're going to call it 3 TV Cribs.
I was going to say, it's Oddball Show Cribs. It's perfect.
don't use YouTube. It's not. You get booted off, your whole internet stops working. So don't use YouTube on the Oddball Show.
I was going to say, you're not talking to our listeners, are you? Because
I love that.
a lot of our listeners are listening to YouTube, and we think YouTube is an awesome product.
No, I mean I love YouTube. Of course, I love YouTube. Just don't try and do it.
We, the people of Oddball and JP Lime Productions, do not express views negative towards YouTube or the empire of Google, of which YouTube is attached to. Jesus Christ.
Well done.
In case you're wondering, Liza, that's why Ivan's here, so he could do that noise. I know that was you, Ivan.
The Borg.
I'm just here for the banter, fellas.
Ivan, it's good to hear from you, man. Because I just got booted out for like 20 minutes. So these guys
were bad behavior,
and they kept on without me. They probably didn't even notice I was gone.
No, actually, it's hard not to notice you're gone, bro. All right, so here's what I'm thinking. I think we should do just a real quick. Let's not do it too long. Let's do a little what's going on in Oddball and JP Lime, just a little touch base. But I'd like to hear at least one poem from Liza before the hour is out. So, is that agreeable to all that we do a little what's going on and then hear some performance?
Yes, that's agreeable.
That was beautiful.
Like it.
I'm going to feel bad if Liza has to read in the dark.
Breaking news!
Oh, my word. Okay.
JP Line, what's going on with JP Line?
This is the Oddball Show.
Yeah, this actually is the Oddball Show, which is not news to anyone here or tuning in. We are in the middle of the Oddball Show.
Going
on at JP Lime, we got a couple different things going on. We're doing our monthly shoot this weekend for the Rap Flashback. A little earlier, Ivan did a Rap Flashback old school style, saying happy birthday to Bobby Brown. So one of the big things that we're passionate about at JP Lime is old school hip hop and knowing hip hop history and having some respect for where the art form has come from. Even being as young as it is, there's a lot of ground that's covered. So this weekend we're shooting our February edition of the Rap Flashback. So I'll have Ivan.
President's Day.
There you go. That's what I was going to say. Ivan, you want to talk a little bit about what's going on in the flashback this week? I mean, this month?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're gonna go over our typical, hip-hop birthdays, our February birthday shout-outs, and we're going to do our album releases from hip-hop history that have come out in February, as we do every month. A few good ones, but our special segment this month is going to be a President's Day themed segment. So we're going to look at various instances in which MCs have either devoted entire songs to or made references to presidents or presidential candidates or the presidency in general. general in their music. So as you know, hip hop, is often a controversial art form, very much youth oriented. So even though it's old school hip hop, a lot of our quotes and a lot of our songs, a lot of our things we're going to allude to were from these MCs who may be older now and may have different political views now than they did back in the day. And some of these MCs are even dead, unfortunately. So they never made it to old to change their views. They were what they were at the time, and that's what we're going to dissect. So a little President's Day themed rap flashback coming up for you later this month in February.
We also got a little piece tomorrow from our third part of our triumvirate spaceman. He's got some poems that we're going to be putting up tomorrow. We're running a piece about leap year, which is coming at the end of the month, so a little explanation for those of you who wonder why we might be adding a day in February every 4 years. That seems kind of odd. There's an explanation of that up JPLM Productions, and there's going to be well, actually there is. The Oddball Show is live right now, and you can tune in tomorrow and all week long to hear our interview here with Liza. It seems odd to do a promo now that I think of it for a product that's going on presently. It's a little like postmodern.
It's almost meta.
It's like staring into a barbershop mirror.
Very.
What's going on at Oddball Magazine?
Well,
I will say this: we do have some 2 poems going out tomorrow, themed on the late David Bowie. And the person who I'm excited to promote now is making her debut at Oddball, who is someone who's been a friend of not just the music and poetry scene, but also a volunteer and a friend of the Out of the Blue Art Gallery. Her name is Joanna Jojo Lazar, and you can expect her work up at 1 o'clock tomorrow. And I'm very excited because it's not just her written work, it's also her artwork.
Yeah. Not only do we have that, tomorrow, I'll shout back for the week because we had a pretty great week. We had we had a poem by John Sweet with photography by Glenn Bowie. We had an amazing poem last week by Andrew Bourne. He's been writing this series of poetry where he uses the alphabet, and you kind of have to decode the poem. It's great. It's once you decode the poem and what the vocab he's using, it's just raw, hard-hitting poetry, and it's awesome. Then we had James Van Loy last Thursday with "It's All One Thing," where he writes his politics and sometimes everything. It's the Labyrinth Magic. Then we had Love City, Boston, the Underground Garden with Liza, and that was a pretty great read. We had Janet Cormier, Bamboozled No More. We had The Odds with Bill Harvey this yesterday, which was really funny. We had Charlie Paul, who was on the feature yesterday at Stone Soup, and that was great. We had Your Leap Year piece, A Twisted JP Lime. We had a poem by Noreen Cleffy with artwork by Alcy Golden, and we had My Jagged Thought 111, Grateful Today, and that's what we got.
So that's Oddball Magazine, the Beantown. Beantown's best poetry magazine. If you have not seen it, you've not read it, please do. Always new material up there. Oddballmagazine.com and jp9productions.com, the two halves that create the Oddball Show. All right, so we're coming down kind of near the end of the hour here, which is surprising. Time flies when you're having a good time with good people. Liza, do you have a piece that you would be kind enough to share with us here on air?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great, because I'm on a headphone now.
Yeah, you're going a little Blair Witch style, but it's okay as long as you sound clear.
All right, I'll just...
No, you're fine. As long as you can see your poem, you're all good.
I do, but I also do want to thank you guys for allowing me to write The Underground Garden for Oddball. I want to say that The Underground Garden wasn't the intended name for the column, and Jason and I came up with Underground Garden, so that was great. And Chad, I just learned that you created the tagline, so thank you. And it's been, what, 8 or 9 months? Has it been? Right? It's been a while. And the city is constantly given me something to talk about. So the purpose of the Underground Garden is to expose the talent that the city has. With that said, I want to do plugs too.
Yeah, all right, do it.
Home at Machine on Sunday with DJ Bruno and Househead P and Leo Alarcon are doing a Valentine's Day party. If you love dance music, these are people that you should know. The party that I'm doing with TCC and Mazant, which is called Erato, is going to be in Cambridge next Saturday, February 20th, and I'll be writing an article and interviewing our guest, Timmy Allen, and that should be next Thursday's article, and I cannot wait for all of that, talking to him, writing it, and experiencing it. The piece that I'm going to be doing on Sunday for 1 Billion Rising isn't, I didn't write a fresh piece for the event. I'm there in solidarity in other ways. But what Elizabeth has allowed is for me to read from the other sides, which is my personal writing project. So I'll be reading the last. So the other sides is a collection of stories from within a love affair, and each chapter is a room where something has happened. So this is actually the way the story ends. It's the last room, and I chose it due to its theme of unconditional love, and connecting that to the event today was what I hope would occur. That there's really no judgment, no victim blaming or victim shaming, forgiveness and healing and empowering the women that we'll be celebrating and recognizing. So I can read a little bit of it because it's about a 5-minute piece, 3 to 5 minute piece in length. So if you guys don't mind, I can give a snippet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, whatever you're happy with reading, we are glad to hear.
Go for it.
Okay, so it's called Room 222. Freedom to love. Psychically, I speak to your dreams, to manifest before you rise from sleep, your every need. Your satisfied state is the place where I choose to leave my trace. It is not work to walk in fate. You make the work to face fear, and from it separate. With the will of your life's desire, bravely steps you take, holding the hand of the one whose heart you'll never break, boldly facing the world who chooses to hate, true happiness on a face. And that's where it goes into its direction. So
Oh, sorry. You go ahead.
No, I would love for this for you guys to experience and share the story with us. So the piece in its entirety is on Tumblr along with the entire story, and I constantly carry it with me in terms of when I do perform. So you'll find some Underground Garden archives where 2 pieces from this compilation have been submitted.
Excellent. We're going to put that definitely in the pertinent link section. I was looking at it a little bit today, and it's funny. I was going to ask earlier if we had gotten a chance to get into it or gone that way, what the inspiration was, because I could tell by reading a couple that it was different rooms in a hotel. I thought they were different people, and I was trying to get what the inspiration was for telling all these different people's stories. Now I have to go back and look at it because I only read a couple.
Well, That's what's fascinating about anything that has love as its muse. You may write from your personal place, but it speaks to everyone. To everyone.
That's right.
So it's great that you thought it was that way, because it speaks to that. Anybody goes through anything that anyone has gone through, and it's relatable. Love is that thing.
Amen.
Love is that thing. Well, we're coming down to the end of the hour here, Liza. It's really been a pleasure having you on. If it's okay with both of you, I would love, or all three of you, I would love to end on what we've been calling the list of 10. These are 10 questions that I have assembled to ask our guests. Mostly short answers, but some of them, go as deep as you want. This is actually taken from Inside the Actor Studio. James Lipton does it at the end. These are very different questions than his, other than one. But I think it's a cool way to end an interview. And he took it from some French guy on a show that I can't pronounce. So I like the idea of carrying it on here, if that's okay with everybody.
I can't wait.
All right.
I can't do a James Lipton impression, unfortunately. And now we take the questions from the famous and I can't. That's the best I can do, and it sucks.
I thought you were going to try to mumble through the French, and it would have been fantastic. The survey invented by...
I wonder what question you kept.
It's the last one.
Yeah.
All right,
really?
So
I thought you were going to say curse. You kept the curse word.
No, that one's fun. That is my favorite. I always ask everybody what their favorite curse word is, and I think that one's just it's somehow insightful into people's personalities. So maybe I should introduce that back. But the list of 10. Liza, you ready?
Yes.
All right. Number 1. What time and place would you like to be if not here and now?
Oh. I don't have one answer for that. My first reaction is 19-year-old dancing at 4 in the morning at a club with friends. But the reality is probably giving birth to my son and that whole experience of meeting my son.
Right on.
To be fair, I also have several answers for that question.
I thought you were going to say, to be fair, it's also when you gave birth, and I didn't think that was I didn't know that was a whole thing we're going to open up to the Oddball audience. But
let the record show that Chris came up with that segue, even though I was very tempted to. I withheld.
All right, Liza, number 2. What is the greatest advice you've ever received?
Oh. I have a lot of wise people around me. I would probably have to say, if I were to think quickly, it's not the greatest, but it's the sharpest, and it's something that my mom used to say when it came to backstabbers or anything, or people that were two faces and would roll together anyway, and she would say something in Spanish to the effect of, in the end, they all end up licking each other anyway.
I like it. I think those are the ones. I often think about this as hoping to be a father sometime in the near future, and I want to be the kind of dad that has kids that remember, my dad always used to say the most annoying thing, but it really seems smart now that I'm 35 years old.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It used to be like, Mom, that's so gross, but in the end, it's like...
It's insightful. I see what you're saying now. Yeah. All right, number 3. What would your superpower be?
Erasing memories. Eternal sunshine of the spotless mind type of erasing memories.
Right on. That's a good one. All right, number 4. Biggie or Tupac?
Biggie.
Number 5. Who is your favorite person?
My wonderful son is my favorite person.
Number 6. What is your quest?
To be healthy for another 60 years, 70 years, 80 years.
You got a long vision. I like it. All right, number 7. Man, I got some good answers so far. Number 7, fill in the blank. All you need is...
Faith.
Number 8, rock, paper, or scissors.
Scissors.
Number 9. Number 9, what do you want to be when you grow up?
An old woman.
And number 10, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear St. Peter say when you reach the pearly gates?
You made it.
Very nice. Very nice. Thank you kindly. Those are excellent. All right, we are here at the end of our time on the Oddball Show. We have lost Jason Wright, founder of Oddball Magazine, to the wonders of the internet, cutting out at his house. So we'll start by saying good night to him wherever you are, Jason. We appreciate your time and your efforts. Thank you very much, Liza, for being on. It was an awesome conversation. I know I had a great time. I hope everybody else did. Be sure to check us on Twitter, Facebook, and at jp9productions.com and oddballmagazine.com for all the pertinent information. There was a lot we discussed here, and I really want to have those links open to our viewers to check some of that out, especially the 1 Billion Rising movement. The stuff's going on Valentine's Day in Lawrence we talked a bunch about, so we want to make sure that all that information is there. So check us out. Come find us. jp9productions.com and Oddball Magazine are the hub for those things, so you can get to all the other links that way. To the other oddballs, Chad, Ivan, thank you very much. This has been another edition of the Oddball Show. Liza, I can't say thank you enough.
Thank you guys so much.
Everybody out there on the internet, good night.
Good night.